LV Cup, good opportunity for yourself to kind of play a bit more rugby for the Chiefs, and you're looking forward to it?
Yeah, there's a few guys who are going to have a chance to run out and get into the kind of first team structure of things and stuff. So yeah, it'll be good. It's one of those things you look forward to getting a chance to strap your boots on and get on with it.
Is there a bit of pressure putting on yourself, as it were, to try and impress? Because you've played a few European games in the LV, but you haven't quite got into the Premiership squad just yet.
Yeah, I mean, you always put pressure on yourself to play well. I mean, no one comes to a club wanting to just to sit in the stands. So the idea is obviously we try and push on, and that goes for me as well. Obviously I've come down here to try and get some game time. So this is a good chance for me to try and do that.
How are you enjoying your time at the Chiefs so far? You've been here 8 or 9 months now, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. It's a good club to come to. As far as I'm concerned, I've had a great time here. So one of those clubs that everyone seems to enjoy coming to work, which always makes things a lot easier and a lot more. It's just a bonus to the job, really.
And obviously you have the LV Cup game, and I guess really it is a must-win game if you want to progress into the semis.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Quinn's in the box seat, as it were. So all we can do is obviously try and ideally get a 5 pointer on the weekend, so we put as much pressure on them as possible, and see what they do on the Sunday. It was nice to win at Bath last week. I think we were a bit frustrated because we left a lot of points on the field. That would have obviously made things in a different picture, but as things are, all we can do is our best and then see what Quinn's done on the day after.
What do you feel you learned from that defeat against Bath?
I think what we would have learned was the fact that we need to be clinical against these sides. I mean, obviously the intensity we played at was great. The way we played was great in parts. I mean, we had a look at our line breaks and some of our running lines and stuff the other day, and they're all fantastic. So going from that, you've got to say that the way we need to improve on that is to be clinical and finish those tries off and not leave points on the field.
You mentioned improving. How do you feel you've improved since you've come down to Devon?
I think my game, to be fair, has actually come on leaps and bounds. I think it's been a good environment for me in terms of the way we train and the way we play seems to suit me. In my opinion, I think it's one of those things that the way training's gone, I can feel things getting better as it goes. So I think things, for example, my ball carrying has become much more stronger and things like that. And it's just getting to grips with bits and pieces, really.
And finally, if you could get a victory and get through to those semi-finals of the LV Cup, provided Quinns can kind of do you a favour, so to speak, what sort of boost would that give the camp?
I think it's one of those things. We want to win every competition that we go into. We don't go into anything thinking we'll just go in to make up the numbers or whatever. So from that point of view, from the start, it's very important to us that we do well in it. And it's also important because obviously there's a lot of guys in this team, especially against in the Bath team last weekend, who for them this is their kind of chance of experiencing a bit of first team rugby and kicking on. So it's vital in terms of preparation and further down the line for a year or two, for them in terms of their development for rugby as well.
Fantastic.
You talk about the youngsters there, Damian.
Yeah.
We've got quite a crop of young guns here and highly talented at that. Have you come across that, say, in the past with the Scarlets? Have you seen something like that before?
It's kind of similar. It reminds me a little bit to the back line that came out the Scarlets a couple of years ago and is now playing regularly for Wales, to be honest. I mean, there's a few guys who kind of... You remember, for example, when George North turned up and, the boys... He turned up to training and the boys were, aware very quickly they had a special on their hands. And you look at players like Jack Knowles and stuff, and the guys were pushing their way through, like all the young guys who played last weekend, Hilly, etc. And you can see, that kind of cycle coming around again, which is just, obviously only a good thing for Devon rugby and obviously Exeter and English rugby as well.
I was going to say as well that talking to Ricky a moment ago, when you've analysed it, not just last week but recent weeks, small margins, isn't it, for the side at the moment?
It is. I mean, that's if you want to compete against the top sides. I mean, obviously with the Heineken as well. You tend to find that it'll all hinge on some small moments within the games. Even some of the scorelines which look like big scorelines either way are quite often decided on small moments and small margins. So that's what we're saying about the Bath game. It's vital that we kind of turn that kind of the pressure and the good play that we do into actual points and be clinical when we're in that kind of red zone.
When you look at the threat of Northampton this weekend, whatever side they'll bring, they'll be tough. Yeah,
I mean we know what's coming in Northampton. I mean the way that they play. They're a very good side and they've got some very good players, so it's one of those things where it's up to the boys to kind of front up and deal with that when they come down.